private labels are in-house brands of these e-commerce firms. So for Nykaa, the in-house brand is Nykaa Cosmetics, Nykaa Naturals. There's Wanderlust. We have a Korean range called Skin Secrets. We have Moa, which is a fragrance range, and we have K-Beauty and Masaba by Nykaa, which are our celebrity house of brands.
I'll be honest, I don't know any one of them.
Sometimes you just keep thinking, what will I do next in my career? How can I make my career big? By working. So just do that. Like, why are you just, you should stop planning what's my next big move. Your next big move is to work, and the move will present itself.
When you're looking at a B school, the first thing that you check is the kind of people who have graduated from there. And while doing that, you come across this long pool of alumni members who have, been there, done that. And from their experiences, you try and learn what you can gather. Today, I have one such alumni from SDA Bocconi Asia Center who has made her career from this very campus at a company which is booming at the moment. I'm talking to Vibhuti. Hi, Vibhuti.
Hi.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
It's, wonderful to see, the kind of career trajectory that you've created for yourself. Right now, you're working at Nykaa, which is a fast-growing startup. To call it a startup itself is something that people will think again, right? Tell me a little bit about, going back in time. What was the kind of Vibhuti you were when you actually came in here?
So when I came into SDA Bocconi, right, I was one of those people who always knew that I wanted to do an MBA. And in like class 5, in those slam books, I was one of those kids who used to write, what will you do when you grow up? I used to say I will do an MBA, because MBA as a profession was held in really high regard at home. So when I came here, I was this enthu cutlet who just wanted to be a part of everything that we were just discussing some time back. Was founding committees, writing blogs. I wanted to, because surprisingly, even SDA Bocconi at that time was a startup, so a lot had to be done.
When you were making this decision that you wanted this particular business school or this particular course for your career, what were the kind of considerations that you were having?
I think what I was seeking was balance. Right. The right balance of having a great class diversity, because I feel that everyone keeps talking about either campus or faculty or alumni, and I think that's very, very important. I'm not taking away from that, but I think what is very key is the network that you make within the college. And the second aspect was also about faculty, because majorly when I'm talking to my counterparts in different business schools, I feel in SDA Bocconi we have been taught at a very macro level. When I interacted with a lot of professors before joining SDA Bocconi, I saw that lateral thinking was really encouraged, and it wasn't just about process thinking that a lot of people do, that the same case studies taken year on year, okay, Kodak ke baare mein padh rahe hain, bar, but it's just the newness and the freshness that the curriculum got. It was really exciting. I think at the time when Ferrari was doing an IPO, we were the only business school, and I am, because like I told you, I was very networked with people in different business schools. I think we were the only one who were actually studying about Ferrari's IPO, and one of the major case studies we did was predict what the IPO opening price is going to be. And now that I look back, it is so funny, because Nykaa just did an IPO, and I was living that entire case study while I was living through the Nykaa IPO. It's really riveting actually that we got to do all that.
Vibhuti, you said that you were passionate about beauty and fashion. When you came in here, that just got aggravated, I would say, and you kind of understood that that's the space you wanted to be. And I think the first step that you took was the summer placement time, when you actually got in and you started working with Loreal. What was that experience like? How did Loreal, come into picture, and how did you bag the role?
Loreal was the first summer placement company that had come on campus. And obviously it's a beauty giant. It's not something that anyone would think twice about applying to. So I remember I had created a very unique application where, so they had given a couple of questions that tell us something about yourself, what makes you special, what does beauty mean to you, and things like that. And it was a written form that you had to submit, and I had created like an AV, like a little video, explaining who I am, where I come from, why am I who I am, and what beauty means to me. And I think that really set the application apart, because it didn't go as a mundane form that a lot of people had filled out. And then the interview happened and it went really well. And I remember I was on this cab ride back home, and within half an hour we had got a call that, you know, Vibhuti. So I was the only person who got selected, and it was an exhilarating moment.
Vibhuti, is it safe to say that, you know, your liking for this whole beauty and fashion industry got cemented when you got through this internship?
I agree. I absolutely agree. I had not thought about beauty as an industry ever till I joined Loreal, and I think it is solely responsible for piquing my interest in beauty and understanding the beauty world.
In 2017, when you were graduating from this particular campus, you got through to a company which was still, you know, getting built. And I'm talking about Nykaa, where you currently work. When that, you know, recruitment happened, did you feel that, you know, I'm getting into a startup, how much of a career growth I will have there?
Again, had a very straightforward formula. Similarly, when it came about jobs, it was either that I need a job, doesn't matter where I am. Second was I want to be in beauty, doesn't matter where I am. Or third was that I want to be in this organization, no matter what role. I think Nykaa was the mix of two. I wanted to be in beauty no matter where I would land up, and I wanted to be in Nykaa no matter what role I bag. Nice. So it was really interesting that I got the best of both worlds, that we had a lineup of fashion houses coming to Bocconi for interviews, and everyone said that beauty fashion is the same thing with beauty, but I was set on beauty. I remember the placecom head, not the student placecom head, the placecom head. I had harrowed his life. The moment the role was explained to me, so I was sold, right? They could give me anything at Nykaa and I would take it. I won't even bat an eyelid. But it's just how amazingly things work out. The role that I had got was so rich, because I was pitching myself that, you know, I would be a key account manager and I would love to handle other brands, and you know, because Nykaa is a e-commerce beauty platform which has multiple brands on it. There is a manager who handles all these individual brands in terms of their performance on the platform, and that's what I was pitching myself for. But during that interview, she pitched a role where I would be a part of the private label and I would be building products from the start till the end. And I mean, would you not leap at that opportunity? And I was overjoyed, and I said, absolutely, I'd love to be a part of your team. And that's how I bagged the job.
Lovely. And what followed at Nykaa? You know, you rose to the ranks. Now you're working with, you know, brands that have come up within the realm of Nykaa. Tell me about, you know, the journey. How has that shaped up for you? And were there moments where you thought that, you know, this is exactly the life I wanted?
I think it still is exactly the life and that I wanted and I wished for and I prayed for. And this, by the way, was my goal, that somebody interviews me someday and asks me, Vibhuti, are you living your best life? And I say, yes, I was and I am. And it's really, I think, like you said, that when I joined Nykaa, we had, so I'll just explain what I do. So every e-commerce brand has its own private label. Private labels are in-house brands of these e-commerce firms. So for Nykaa, the in-house brand is Nykaa Cosmetics, Nykaa Naturals. There's Wanderlust. We have a Korean range called Skin Secrets. We have Mua, which is a fragrance range, and we have K Beauty and Masaba by Nykaa, which are our celebrity house brands.
I'll be honest, I don't know any one of them.
It's fine. We have a full-fledged Nykaa Man proposition too. So then we will definitely target you. Now these brands, we create our own products. So everything from conceiving the gap in the market to developing the product, doing the branding, the marketing, taking it from idea to counter is exactly what I am supposed to be a part of and I lead. So when I joined Nykaa, we had 25 SKUs. And now we have more than 1200 SKUs. I got to personally work with the CEO of our organization, Reena Chabra. I got to work with Katrina Kaif on her brand K Beauty, which is a partnership with Nykaa. So marrying her vision of K Beauty with Nykaa's vision of K Beauty and getting both of them together was one of the key projects that I had led. I worked with Masaba on her beauty line, Masaba by Nykaa, again rendering her creative vision. So it's been extremely fulfilling.
Right. When we talk about Nykaa, one thing that crops up in our mind is this very strong figure of women, right? And I think a lot has been also said recently because Nykaa got its IPO and Falguni being the kind of a person who led the ship from the beginning and being somebody who is, now looked up to in such a way that people are taking inspiration.
Yeah.
Being a part of an organization like this and being a woman yourself, do you feel empowered?
Extremely. I think Nykaa was my first job after my MBA, right? And it's technically like my professional debut into the corporate world. And throughout business school, you keep listening to about women in leadership, about how women in corporate India are performing, and how their management style is different. There's a lot of study on women in leadership, and I find it so amazing that this Nykaa is my first privy to women leadership, and that's the benchmark I'm going to hold for all the coming organizations, because that's how I see women in business. They are inspiring, they're leading from the front, they're commanding, they're demanding. I don't think there is anything that Falguni or Reena have ever shied away from as a challenge. I really feel that I haven't seen more alpha women that, who are not afraid to speak up. And I think that's the culture also they bred within the organization. I could be sitting with a line of CXOs, and if I disagree or if I have an idea, I'm not afraid to speak up. And I'm not afraid to speak up, even not because I'm a woman, that's the last thing that I would ever even think of, but also that maybe I'm too junior or I might not have as much experience. That's absolutely untrue. So I think the way the fabric of the organization has been built is more a very women-centric, absolutely, but also very equitable.
Lovely. As a new age brand manager, Vibhuti, if I have to ask you some of the things that you think are the norm right now when we're talking about marketing, or for that matter, the role that you have, how do you ace that?
So one thing that I would say, and I think it's such a basic thing that a lot of people don't do, is use their own products. And I think that is, as a brand manager, because you're a parent, that's how I always define it, that your brand is your child. Now your child is sitting in the factory, your child is sitting in the warehouse, your child is sitting in a store, it's sitting on your table, it's sitting in wherever, you are responsible for it. So you need to be so well acquainted with the product that you are pushing that no matter which atmosphere it finds itself in, you can predict how it's performing and what can be expected out of it. So the major thing is knowing and using your product. The second is that because now we are in an age where trends, like I said, they get born on Instagram and die on Instagram, or get born on the internet and off the internet, it is very essential to know the pulse of the market, because a lot of us, because of wherever we are sitting and however we are behaving and in whichever social circles we are moving in, it's very normal that you apply your conditioning and you extrapolate it that this is where, this is how everyone is perceiving my product. And that is so, that's absolutely untrue, because there are so many consumers and a section of India that gets excluded from this subset that you have created for yourself. And again, all this might just sound very basic, but very honestly, when you're actually riding the waves and when you're working day on 30 different projects, you kind of lose out the perspective, and you need to give a bird's eye view that where I am, is it relevant to everyone around me and everyone who's not around me too. So very essential to not apply your conditioning to this is how my product is. put yourself in your consumer's shoes and then understand that do they need a color corrector? I mean, I feel that internationally it is working, and this brand has launched it, and it might be, and you know, all my manufacturers are probably saying that this is the trend, the future trend, and I'm reading it in magazines and seeing it on Instagram. But do you feel this color corrector would be relevant to India? That is the real question. Color corrector, by the way, is a makeup product that people use to correct any sort of pigmentation or multiple concerns on their face, just to give you a perspective.
Vibhuti, the person that you were when you came in here in 2015 to a relatively new B school, to the person who you are right now, how much of a difference has happened?
So I think I used to think a lot when I joined Bocconi, because like I said, that you need to, I had to keep thinking how to reinvent myself, or what can I do more, how can I be a part of every possible thing. I think now I have become a person who's realized that I need to just put my head down, work, and the right things and right opportunities will present themselves, because we spend a lot of time over planning, and lesser time is spent in doing those things because you're planning so much. I think now it's become very converse, and I really do more than I plan, and I think that's why all the right things have been happening. And this is an advice that my manager gave me, that you know, sometimes you just keep thinking, what will I do next in my career, how can I make my career big by working. So just do that. Like, why are you just, you know, you should stop planning what's my next big move. Your next big move is to work, and the move will present itself. So that's one thing that's really different from Vibhuti then and Vibhuti now. And obviously at that time I was this insecure little kid wanting to make a big career. Now I think I'm a little more secure, and I feel very happy and confident in the place that I've built for myself.
One last piece of advice before we let you go, Vibhuti, and you know, this is for people who are watching this conversation, who are maybe in the crossroads of whether to join a B school or not at this point in time in their lives, or whether that B school will actually help them in, you know, realizing the dreams that they have for themselves.
You know, a lot of times people say go with your gut, and I'm like, no. I was a person who made like Excel sheets for colleges, that this is the pro, this is the con. It's a one-time investment of your life, right? And it's, I mean, you can do a second MBA, but possibilities are what? That, you know, you will land up doing a second MBA. You definitely do an exec MBA, but to get the right platform is extremely important. So I know gut might be good for a lot of things in life, but here I feel that everyone should take a very calculated decision of where they want to land. I mean, at least define your top 3 priorities and start eliminating things. And I feel the priorities should definitely be the faculty, your interaction with the professors of the university. Second is obviously the network that you will be building, extremely crucial. See the kind of people who have graduated and what career paths they have made in life, and is the college going to facilitate the similar career path for you? And if yes, then you know this is the place. And the third is that, you know, the job that you aspire to have, you need to be part preparing for that since ever you've wanted it. But can the business school also aid and help you to achieve that? This is a one-time decision, and you're only going to do it once. It's literally like marriage. You want to do it once and you want to do it right. So please do everything that is necessary. The stalking, the Excel sheets, the calling people, the interacting with professors, whoever, but make it right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Making it right, and that's where we come in. We tell people about the journeys that you guys have made so that it's easier for them to look back into and think that what they are doing right or what they need to work on. If you need to know more about this particular B school which Vibhuti was part of and made her career from, you can check the link in the description that we have provided for you. Tell us in the comments below how you liked this conversation and what are your suggestions for future videos that we make. Thank you, Vibhuti, and it was nice having a chat with you.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.